Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our Jumpstart Webinar series. Today, I know that we had discussed in our announcements go through web forms, but we took a little long on the other call, and we want to get this webinar done in 30 to 45 minutes. So we decided to really discuss the most challenging part of this, which is how to create tag-based campaigns. And today with us again is Kate Campbell, and Kate will be guiding you how to do that. She's one of our clients. She's been with Credit Law Center forever. She's one of their legacy employees, and you met her on last week's call. But Kate, why don't you go ahead and give everybody a brief shout out and introduction of yourself? I don't think anybody could do that better but you.
Well, thank you. My name is Kate Campbell. I work with Credit Law Center, and it will be my 14-year anniversary here in August. I've been through a number of different CRMs and set up automation for years, mainly using Infusionsoft. And this is the kind of fun stuff that I love doing and trying to basically push software to the max and see all the fun creative things we can come up with. So I'm one of those weird ones that kind of enjoys doing this kind of thing, just like Josh. So we geek out over all the fun stuff that we create. But I'm happy to be here and happy to show off some of the things we've done. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Everybody knows me. I'm Joshua Carmona, the president and founder of scoring.com. We've been in the space since 2010, and we've done business with thousands of CROs throughout the years. And we understand how to do business and how to make the cash register ring and how to process customers. And we built Score around a motto saying to be compliant, be successful, right? So we've built a compliance throughout the software in many different ways. We have a state compliance modules, as well as you expand your business. You can also grow with just the responsibility of being licensed and bonded in the particular state you're doing business in. Having said that, let's jump over to more important things is, well, how do we create lost lead, new partner, and new lead campaigns? I suggest you guys log into your ScoreCEO portal, but I would prefer that you listen and maybe look around to see where these things are on a portal. If Kate starts navigating a little quickly, just let us know. But today she's going to be teaching you how to build a lost lead check and how she's going to build that campaign out, and a new partner portal lead that happens with when they sign up or create a new partner in the portal. And also when there's a new lead, how do you manage the first contact to that customer? You can have new lead LM1, and that's what she calls that step, but she goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and they all do different things. And I think we discussed that on last week's on our last call, but I'm pretty sure that there was a lot said and a lot shown. This webinar is going to be more of get your hands dirty, roll up your sleeves, and get your hands dirty to go ahead and create your own campaigns using tags, which is a new feature in ScoreCEO. So Kate, having said that, I'll leave that up to you, and if you want to share your screen and start where you with lost lead, new partner, or new lead, I'll leave that up to you.
All right. Let me get my screen, share. There we go. All right. So one of the things that we like to do at Credit Law Center, we have right now we have about 15 different salespeople, and there's a lot of leads coming in from different places, and we want to make sure that we're holding our salespeople accountable, making sure that they are contacting them daily. We require our salespeople to call a lead 4 times until we mark them as a lost lead, and we call them every day. So one of the things that is important to us is to make sure that we are not forgetting somebody. making, you got a lot of leads in there. We want to make sure that we're contacting them and everything. So I will, this first campaign here, this is what I call the lost lead check. It is a tag-based campaign. And nearly every single one of my, oh, this is an old one. We don't want that one anymore. Well, let's delete that. Okay. Nearly all of my campaigns, this is, I use Excel for everything, and it helps me kind of chart everything out. All of my campaigns include this lost lead tag check. So when we go through this campaign, what it does is it waits 1 day, sends an email to the salesperson that said it's a no activity check. So it's basically just saying, heads up, you haven't done anything to this person. And then it waits 2 more days. And then it's going to email our admin that this lead may be lost. And so at this point, is it because the salesperson forgot? Are they slacking and they should be calling them and they're just choosing not to? What, so we put that to the admin or the sales manager to check in. And then if 1 day later, if it's still not done, now there is a to-do set for that sales manager. And when we go down, I'll kind of illustrate on here how I use this in all of our campaigns, and then we'll jump into building it. So if we go down here to new lead, so it's brand new lead, we email them, text them, make a note. This LM obviously means left message. And then it sets a to-do to call them the next day. It waits 1 day, and then it adds the tag for lost lead. So if we go back up to my lost lead campaign, it waits 1 more day, and then it's emailing them. So it's basically waiting 48 hours and saying, hey, you haven't done any activity for 48 hours with this person. So then when we go back down, waits 2 more days, and it removes the tag, because removing the tag is what stops the campaign from working. So that's new lead left message 1. Now, since we require our salespeople to call every day, if they call on Monday and add this tag, then on Tuesday, they would go in and call again. If they leave a message again, they'll add a left message 2 tag, which the very first step is to remove the lost lead tag. So by removing that, it's going to stop that campaign. So it's not going to alert them and let them know they haven't done anything in 48 hours. It's not going to alert the salesperson because they are keeping up with what they should. But same thing, it's going, well, and then it'll also remove the tag for new lead left message 1, email, text, note, set a to-do to call the next day, and so on. So you can see as we go through all of my different campaigns, the first steps in every campaign is to remove the lost lead check, and then to remove the tags for any previous campaigns that could be on there. So today we're going to go through and set these 3 things up. So we'll do the lost lead check. We'll set up the new partner portal lead, and then a left message 1. Does anybody have questions before we jump into building the campaign? You're welcome to speak up or raise your hand or add something to the chat. Good, I think. All right. So move this over here. So for this first campaign we're doing on the lost lead check, it is going to be a campaign-based or a tag-based campaign. And I already went in and created all of my email templates and tags that I would need for all these campaigns just to save us time. So we'll do lost lead check. It is not a system event. It is a tagged event. Use my lost lead check because I've already created it. If I hadn't created that tag yet, I can go ahead and click this button right here and create the tag as I go. That's another great thing about Score, is that even though I came prepared today, I'm not always so prepared. So it's very nice as we go through the campaigns, we can create tags, we can create email templates, canned note templates. We can create that as we go in the campaign. So you don't necessarily have to have everything set up first. So lost lead check.
Which wasn't like that when we released Score at the beginning, Kate.
Yep.
That we've been adding that functionality over time, by the way, just to let everybody know.
we didn't even have tags 6 months ago. So
That's exactly right.
we've come a long way. All right, so add my chat tag. So the first step here is to wait 1 day. So we're just going to include that in the start day. Instead of having 0, we're just going to put 1 for this first step. And we're going to email the salesperson that first warning email. So email sales. And all of these kind of emails, I always have them come from the admin so they know that they need to pay attention to it. And then it's going to go to the salesperson. And right here, I can just click and do no, well, I mean, the no activity check is already there. But if I didn't have that there, I could go right here and compose a brand new email template. Or I can even look and see what this email template looks like. So it's subject, no activity check, consumer's first name and last name. And then the body of the email is just has gone 48 hours with no activity. Technically, sometimes it's not 48 hours if it's a brand new lead, but that's semantics.
So one of the things I want to point out there, Kate, if all of you are looking at Kate's email campaign, she's customized her header and her footer through HTML code. Some customers you can do that through HTML by setting the header and the footer on the global in the config area for email and templates, and you can do that and personalize it if you want. Because I know sometimes when Score inserts our logo, since we only use at this time 1 logo for everything, it distorts the logo and it doesn't it doesn't do justice to your logos. You can always customize that by adding custom source code there.
Yep. And I love that because when I set that up, that main header and footer will go on every single template. But then if there are situations where I don't want to use those, then I do have the option in each individual template to delete it and make it look however I want. All right, so go back here. So the first steps in that email, no activity check. That is step 1. So then we're going to add the next step, which is we're going to wait 2 days. So now instead of on day 1, this one is going to be on day 3. We're going to email from the admin to the admin. And on here, you can do the drop down and then you can just start typing. So you don't have to scroll through that whole list. My lost lead, which this campaign or this email, oh, it said, I forgot, the subject is I'm slacking. And then in the body, it says that salesperson for this consumer. So actually, I'm not going to have it come from the CRO admin. I'm going to have this come from the salesperson. So that salesperson's essentially tattling on themselves here. So to the CRO admin, lost lead. And then my next step is we're going to wait 1 more day. So we're going to say on day 4, we are going to set a to-do. Lost lead. So here in the description, we've recently added variables to be able to put things in the to-dos themselves. So we can say, consumer's first name or whatever in here, which I like doing. So when they're looking at their to-dos, they can see that. So consumer first name has had no activity. Reassign to new salesperson. And we're going to assign that to the CRO admin. I want it due immediately, so I'm just going to leave the day and hour there alone. And I don't need a reminder since it's due instantly. And that is it. Oh, one thing I forgot. Oh, no, I didn't. Never mind. Sorry. So then that is it. That's the whole campaign. So if we go back and look at this, we did wait 1 day, send an email to the salesperson, wait 2 more days, send an email to the admin, wait 1 more day, set a task for the admin. And that is it. We just created that whole campaign in a matter of minutes. One thing you do have to make sure you do, though, is whenever you complete a campaign, the status will immediately be paused because it does. We didn't want it to just immediately start running on people if it's a tag-based campaign. So now we'll go to edit and then start. Now this campaign is done. So we go back to my list of campaigns. There's my lost lead check. It's got 3 steps. It's ready to go. Do we have any questions so far?
Other than how do you add customers to that campaign?
Well, that's a fantastic question, Josh. I will show you. Really, it's all done by campaigns, by other campaigns. Nothing is done manually since all of my campaigns add that tag themselves. So we'll illustrate that here in the next campaign. So no questions yet? All right. So let's go to our next one. On this one, this is not going to be a tag-based campaign. This is going to be a system campaign. So it's when a referral agent lead has been created. It's going to send an email to the salesperson, set a to-do for that salesperson. And then it's going to set the tag for lost lead check, which then again, since this is a new lead, I don't really want it to wait 2 days. We only want to wait 24 hours. So since this is a brand new lead, it'll go wait 1 day, send the email, and so on. So for this one, we're going to go create a new one. And we'll new partner lead. It is a system event. And
so what is the difference between a system event and a tag-based campaign?
So the system campaigns, these are all going to be triggered by actions that are happening within the system, where your tag-based campaigns are only going to be triggered if the tag is added. That tag can be added in numerous ways. It can be from a different campaign. It can be manually added by going to the tags for that person. It can be added to several people by adding tags to multiple consumers on your consumer lead page. Or it can be added through a tag in your workflow step. I'll show you guys the workflow step thing here next. That is one of our newer things that we've added as well that has been great. My sales staff loves it. But so on this one, this is just going to be a trigger within the system for when a referral agent, referral agent lead created. So this is specifically for when a partner adds a lead through their own portal. So next, first step for that is we're going to email instantly. Email sales from the CRO admin to the salesperson. And on this one, I believe my email template is assign lead to salesperson. Right. On this email template, a new lead has been assigned to you, consumer name, cell phone, email, and then all the agent information there as well. So that's step 1. I'm also going to create a to-do. Putting these step names is very handy for watching the campaign to see what's happening. I'll give you, actually, Lydia is my daughter, Landon's my son, and Aurora is my cat, who is actually the salesperson. So you get to see all of my pets throughout this process. When we look at Lydia and we go to the campaigns, it's broken down between active campaigns, which means campaigns that are currently running, ones that have previously ran but are completed. Pending are more for like your marketing ones for campaigns that require you to be opted in. If somebody is not opted in to that specific campaign, then it's going to sit there in a pending status until they opt in. And then if you do all it shows you all of them. So if we go to completed, we can see I obviously already have the new lead one in there. So we can click detail here. And it's going to see these steps here. This is the part that I'm talking about where we put the step name in. So make sure that you're doing that in a way that makes sense when you are looking at this list. All right, so to do for sales, new partner lead. All new lead from, and let's see, we can do referral agent first name, space, referral agent last name. There we go. So that's helpful so they can see exactly who it was from right there in the to-do. Assigned to the salesperson. And we're doing that immediately. And then the very last step for this is going to be to start that lost lead check. So we are going to apply a tag. And for whenever I'm applying tags, I always put in the step name that I'm starting a campaign rather than add tag, because add tag doesn't really mean anything to anybody. So I'll say start lost lead check. And then I'll just go here and lost lead check. Done. So now finish. And then I'm actually not going to start this one because I actually already have this one created. So we're just going to leave this alone. But now when we go back to campaigns, you can see that this one is red because it's bringing it to your attention that this is not an active campaign right now. All right, so that's the second campaign. Do we have any questions on that one? Oh, actually, there's chats. Did I miss any questions?
Ariana and Jasmine and Maurice are monitoring the chat.
Okay, great. Then yeah. I'll just rely on you ladies to let me know if there's stuff to answer.
If Jasmine has a question that's important for us to interrupt, she'll go ahead and do that. If not, we'll address questions at the end of the learning session. But if you want to have that, if it's important right now to continue, go ahead and put the question in the chat, and Jasmine will choose. Jasmine will interrupt Kate. Thank you.
All right. So now we're going to set up this last one. So the first step will be to remove the lost lead, email, text, note, set the to-do for the next day, wait a day, add the lost lead check, wait 2 days, remove the campaign tag. So create new. Left message 1. This is going to be a tagged based campaign. It will happen when the new lead left message 1 tag is on. Step 1, we are going to remove stop lost lead check. Step 2, we are going to email the email from sales, from the salesperson. I usually leave it to everyone. Everyone means lead or consumer. Instead of specifying lead or consumer, I just find that easier so I don't mess it up and set the wrong one. And then the template is going to be new lead, left message 1. Now that email, your path to better credit starts here. And then this is a pretty lengthy email, but much more so than the rest of them. But this is, other than when we enter them and they get that first welcome email, this is usually the first email that they get coming from our salesperson. And so this one goes into a little bit more detail just about our company and gives a little bit more information there. So that All right, new lead, left message 1. Now we're going to send a text, which if, Josh, do you want to go over text better stuff or skip that?
Still don't have our text better agreement in place, so let's not
Okay.
talk about text. Or everybody on the call, the text is in ScoreCEO. We're just ironing out what the cost to add that on for you guys is going to be, and we're negotiating with the company to give you guys the best cost possible. We feel we have the top company for this, so when they get back to us, after they were supposed to get back to us a week or two after the July 4th holiday. Yes, Robert, text is brand new, and it is working on Kate's portal, and that's because Kate's company went ahead and licensed the software from us. So they have a completely different agreement. They have their own copy of ScoreCEO. So most of the things that we're deploying for them, we're deploying for everyone, including text. We may have, right now we're doing business with Text Better, but we may have that integration may also be with Twilio as well. But all the interfaces and everything is all built out. Right now, you all are waiting on us to just get the text turned on fundamentally.
Yep,
But
we're working out.
We'll be there in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, and my company's working out all the bugs and kinks for you, so it'll be absolutely perfect by the time it gets to you guys. But it's already running wonderfully. I don't. That's not the word.
Wonderfully.
It's running great. But we are just honestly, we're just enhancing it, making it more accessible, for admins to access other people's texts and that sort of thing. But that's one thing that I really love about Score and putting our text messages into Score, because everything is accessible within Score. You can see what messages have happened back and forth, and they actually look like live conversations, just like you're having a Teams chat or a Facebook Messenger chat. It looks just like that. So where previously, the reason why we started with Text Better is because their texting is through email. So instead of having to be logged into an app, which we didn't have the availability at the time to do that, texts just go to your email, you respond by email, and the other side has no idea. But Text Better also has the API, which now we're utilizing. And even though putting it in your email is awesome, nobody else can see what those messages are. So if my customer service is contacting this client, nobody else can see what they've talked about or anything. Now that we have the API, we can do that. So we're going to add this text, send this text to the lead. The next step, I always like to add a note. Basically, anytime there's activity, it's nice to have that stamp in there, that time and date stamp, so you can look back and see when you did different things. So every single activity that happens, a canned note is automatically added. Note from.
By the way, everyone on the call, that's also new, Rob, and everyone on the call. Now you can create canned notes, and that is available. And you can have your campaigns apply notes that you consistently add. Like if you had, for example, a consistent message of no credit monitoring, right? And you built a campaign around that, it can apply that tag automatically for you after, either at the beginning or in the middle or at the end of your campaign. It's up to you on how you want to set that up. But canned notes is a very good feature to keep your staff in tune with each other and organized.
Yeah. And one thing that we added is this, the assignment of who it's coming from. And honestly, I'm kicking myself for not doing this to all of the campaign steps in the beginning. So that is in progress right now. But instead of only being able to choose what role added it, now we can choose, do we want a role to be the one that created the note? Do we want a specific user, or do we want whoever is logged in to do this? Now, the logged in user one, if Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is mainly used for your tag-based campaigns, because it's going off of basically who added that tag, who is responsible for that happening, and then that's who the note goes from. So, so for this, we'll do logged in user, and then the template is new lead left message 1. Again, I can create that template, I can edit it, whatever from here. That is just a simple note that says left message for first name, email, and text sent. All right, so there's the note. And then my next step is to add a to-do. Now I'm leaving this as start day 0 because I want the task to be added today, but I don't want it to be due until tomorrow. And the reason for that is because I like our salespeople to be able to look ahead. If something comes up and they want to take the day off tomorrow, they can go look at their tasks for tomorrow, maybe have somebody else take them, reassign them, or something like that. So it's just helpful for planning purposes. So to do for sales, I'll do call new lead call 2 on the lead, assign to salesperson, and then here is where I'm going to put day 1. So that is what's telling the system that we don't want to do until tomorrow. All right. So then we are going to wait 1 day, and which means start day 1, start lost lead check. Oh, but this is applying a tag. And then we're gonna wait 2 more days. So this is gonna be on start day 3. And then I just say remove campaign tag. So then, oh gosh, I forgot to change it again. Remove tag. And this is new lead left message 1. I do like to break it out to be that long because this accounts for weekends. So that way, if somebody called them on Friday, it's not marking them lost and going crazy on Sunday when we're not working. We do have an exciting feature in the works right now that for our campaign manager, we're going to be able to take weekends into account. So we'll be able to say, you know, do include the weekends, don't include the weekends, and that sort of thing. So that will be coming here in the future as well. So I believe, yep, that is the last of that campaign. So finish that and we are good to go. Now, where do we add that tag? How do we start new lead left message 1? Another new feature that we have added, and here I'll go to Lydia, so I'm not messing with actual people here. In these workflow steps, we now have the option to add tags. Every single workflow step gives you that option. So we can't, well, just in your workflow settings, you can go to each one and add all of the tags that you want available on that specific workflow step, which is so much nicer and easier instead of asking our salespeople to go over to the tags and choose what tag. You have to remember the name for that specific step. That's hard. This actually will show you exactly the options that you should have for this step, and that's it. So I've already got my new lead left message 1 there. And when we go here, new lead left message 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn down. And then these are all of my turn down options. So I like to have a tag for each turn down. So that way I can search those options later if I want to do some sort of sales campaign. You know, if it's somebody with money issues, then maybe next time we do a 25% off sale, we might market that specifically to people that we've lost due to not having enough money to start. So instead of only marking them lost with the lost reason on the client intake, I like to also have these tags so I can search them that way as well. So we'll just show on Lydia if we do new lead left message 1. Tag has been assigned, and then you can see that the tag is listed there for as long as the tag is actually on the account. It will show that there, which is helpful because tomorrow when the salesperson goes and calls them and they don't answer, they don't have to remember how many times have I already called this person, or they don't have to go look that up. That tag is actually still listed there. And that's another reason why on my campaigns, why I wait that 2 days, because I don't want that tag to fall off on Sunday type thing. And as soon as you add that tag, it's running. You don't click save or anything like that. So I can go over here to my campaigns and I can see that the new lead left message 1 campaign is going. I can look at the detail. It's going to tell me everything that's been that's happened. If it's an email, the emails will actually tell you the open status. So if that person has opened the email, it will say opened right there. And then it also tells you the dates and times for anything that's happening in the future. Now there are, at least our portal is set up to have permissions based on the different user types. I don't like my salespeople messing with campaigns. It's too many room for error. So I don't like them removing tags. I don't like them, executing or stopping different steps on their own. So if any of my salespeople go look at the campaigns, they will see all of this, but they do not have these buttons or options to do those. And then if we go back to the workflow step, you can see, whoop, not that one. There, the tag is still there. So I believe that is everything. What is TD? Georgia, South Carolina. We do not do business with people in Georgia or South Carolina due to pain in the ass state. Yes, that's exactly what it is. I think is it experience?
Is that a scientific term, Kate?
Well, I don't know. Ask D. He's the one that put that in the chat, and I just fully support the name. But I know Experian was one of those states.
I was confused as to what D was asking, but now I totally understand.
Yeah, Georgia. Yeah, so you know about Georgia, South Carolina. Both of those states just have very specific regulations as to how you are allowed to price and price out credit repair. And it's just not something that our company is interested in dealing with. So we just do not do business for those people. We instead will try to get them to go to our DIY product with our credit monitoring service, which that can be a whole nother webinar. Did I miss any questions, or are we good? There, I think I've got everybody in the chat. So that's all I've got, unless you guys have questions.
So have you covered, I've got a question, have you covered on how to apply these and show them, you showed them how to apply these tags in the sales, during the sales process, but what if you're in the leads and customers page and you just want to add arbitrarily somebody and apply a tag or something like that? How would you do that?
So when we go there, let's go to Aurora. So from here, we right up here, it has add list or tags. So for anybody that I have listed, which let me just make sure I don't have anybody I shouldn't. Sarah is one of our amazing developers who gets in here and tests everything to make sure it's perfect before it goes live. So we've got lots of tests. That's one of my dogs. That's my son. All right, so add a list. So now we can add the tag, choose the tag that we want, whatever. I'll just choose a random one that doesn't matter. I can even create it right here and hit save. And oh, what did I do? Please select consumer or tags. Oh, because I guess I didn't have. Josh, where am I at? Why is, oh, select all. Duh. Add tag. Save. Boom. Now all those people have those tags. So now
yeah,
I can go over here.
You can select them. You can select them one at a time, groups at a time, pages at a time. You can move forward, backward. Very useful page. We also use that for broadcast lists and creating standard lists for people that say you have, let's say, a new lead, or let's call it a hot leads list, and you basically add customers to those lists, and you tie that broadcast list to a campaign. That's also doable. We'll be discussing those types of campaigns as well in the future. But there's only so much that we can fit, right, into 30-45 minute block. One thing, did everybody understand how the process is on creating campaigns and how you can use? I mean, these are just 3 examples, right? She's got over what 40, 50 campaigns that she does in her deployment for her business. And I know I mean, there's a lot that is really specific to their business. But if any of you are interested in booking some time with me to see, how you can start down this path, and if you need help doing that, we can also help you at a certain level. And if we need to create a product or a project directly for you, where we create a lot of these for you or all of them, we can also do that. And we have some great offers that we're going to be giving to the people that are attending these calls. And so why don't you book a call with me and see what you can figure out you can do at no cost, and if it's worth your time, which I'm pretty sure it is, to go ahead and possibly buy one of our packages to create these campaigns done for you. And ScoreCEO also already comes with a bunch of system campaigns that are done for you, like your billing and dunning campaigns. Those are done for you, and they're configured with your payment model plans. A lot of the notes, a lot of the holiday campaigns, a new lead nurturing campaign, which you guys should all and gals should be looking at that new lead nurturing campaign, because I'm sure that you need to customize it to your company as much as you can in your process. Dolores, I want to go ahead, and if you don't mind, I'd like to share that announcement. Dolores's company is a nonprofit. So if you need to do, she can do business in those states that are a little bit more rigid. Dolores, why don't you book some time so I can talk to you, and then maybe we can talk shop and see how we can offer this benefit to the rest of the people at Score, not just the people on the call. I think you can drum up some business doing that, and they can attack a different market, or at least monetize partially a different market. Maybe, I don't know. Let's talk shop. There's a link inside of the chat that if you click on it, Warisha, can you repost that again? So it's there it is. Jasmine went ahead and did that. Go ahead and click on that link and book a call with me, and we can talk. Okay. Having said that, let's talk about what we're going to cover on next. About the next call. I think we've spread out these webinars a bit too far. I'd like to poll everybody really quick. Raise of hands. How many would like to see this every week until we've completed this, or at the latest every 2 weeks? Okay, Akila. Is that the way you say that? Akila or Akela? Okay. All right. Every 2 weeks for Rob. Okay. Yeah, I think that if we take more than 2 weeks, we kind of lose momentum, and waiting 2 weeks to get the next step done, right, is kind of. I think we're going to have another one next week, and then we'll try to keep them every 2 weeks, moving forward from there. I like 2 weeks because it gives us time to really bring you great content. So why don't, Jasmine, the group has spoken, so let's do it next week, 1 week, and then the rest every 2 weeks after that. And I think we can get a little bit more done in a lot less time. Next week, we're going to be discussing more about campaigns. We're going to go to the original topic that was due for today, which is web forms. And Kate and I will discuss web forms, how to use forms that come with ScoreCEO, how to use forms that we create to be outside of ScoreCEO and use them as an inbound digital marketing strategy to add somebody to a marketing campaign that you have established inside of your system through a web form, through ScoreCEO. You can place these on landing pages. You can place them on your website. You can have links that just bring up the page itself as a standalone page, so that they can go ahead and aggregate themselves with some sort of, obviously with some sort of call to action. I think next week, Kate, if we do that, I think that you should show off some of your JotForm skills there, and show how we already have an integration with JotForms, ladies and gentlemen. And we also have an integration with Zapier as well that can also talk to some of these third-party applications. And it's okay, but obviously with our API integration, it's a lot better.
I use it to sync with QuickBooks, so I do not have to manually enter consumers' invoices or payments into QuickBooks. It all does it for me through Score and Zapier. Oh, I wanted to ask everybody real quick, are there any topics that you would like to request that we touch on in future webinars? Any things that, features within Score that you just haven't quite learned yet or having troubles with? If there's anything, please put that in the chat for us as well. So I think we're good, or just we got a couple people chatting here, so we'll wait.
Were you able to cover for everyone how to tag a customer?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think we didn't go over the fact that you can. You do have the option. Actually, wait, let me go back. There's so many different places. Right here, you can click that tag right there, and that'll take you straight to that consumer's tag list, which is the same thing as going in here and clicking tags. And that will show you any of the tags that are listed. And then you can go through that or type in from there.
So the ones that are listed are the ones that he's already participating in, and those may or may not be, tags. You're applying a tag. It's like a category, right? But you can also trigger a campaign when you apply that tag. All right, and therefore you can remove somebody from that campaign by removing that tag, and you can automate that within the campaign, which is what Kate is doing in in most of her campaigns. And also for her auditing campaigns, if you saw that she had some admin steps there that basically was a tattletale, right? If they didn't do it by such and such time, the tag is going to go ahead and draw the manager's attention to that, so that the manager immediately interacts with that salesperson, which is a good thing if you've got a really big business. If you have a small one, maybe you just want to remind yourself. And it's not much more, let's call it a reminder rather than a tattletale, right? But yeah, there's a lot of ways.
My last lead check used to be called tattletale, but I didn't want my salespeople to see the tag tattletale and a campaign tattletale on it. So I altered that a little bit.
That's awesome. All right, so I hope you all you learned how to navigate through that. Next week we'll be covering web forms and broadcast lists, and we'll take it from there. We're going to leave system categories or system campaigns because they've been around in ScoreCEO for a bit, but there's so much more that you can do with tag and broadcast lists, because before you couldn't select customers to proactively send them marketing or informational email or things of that nature, educational email. You didn't have the ability to go ahead and grab a group of people or a singular person and do something with them and automate that through campaigns. Now with broadcast lists and tags, it puts you on the offensive rather than reacting to when they do something, and that triggers a campaign, which is ScoreCEO, which is great. But these two features just make everything so much better. Okay. Awesome. I'll let you guys go. We spent more time. I've got a hard cutoff in about 10 minutes. But if you all need to book some time with me one-on-one, and I recommend you do, if you want to start this process going, you can go ahead and do so. Kate is showing you right now the text messaging area, how text messages are sent back and forth, and within campaigns. We'll be discussing that soon. But once we've gotten all the semantics worked out with TextBridge. I think Elizabeth is writing or adding something there.
Jasmine is the best, isn't she? We love Jasmine.
Yeah. She's so on it, right? We should change her name to Jasmine on the spot. Thank you, JJ. Okay. All right. Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you all, Rob, Elizabeth, all of you that came, Dolores, Javier. Thank you for being on this call as well. Javier is monitoring and seeing what's going on and what's being said on these. Thank you for inviting some of the customers at Score. Tiffany, thank you. CJ, thank you. Try to be on these calls, because we're going to be, if you're on all of these calls, which should be about 5 to 6 of these calls, by the end of it, we're going to have a nice little giveaway for all of you that have been on most of the calls. So please come to these calls. We want you to learn how to engage and your customers and your leads a whole lot better. Remember, the only way you increase your sales is by increasing your leads, you're closing more deals, and keeping your customers so enamored with your service that they want to stay on forever. So you don't need to elongate the dispute process to do that, right? You just need to give great service, and we believe that that's a path to excellence. So thank you again for being on this week's call. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you, Kate.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.